It was midnight in London. And the most anticipated photo in celebrity media right now was not taken. Because the wedding photos still have not been released. 6 weeks since the most famous ceremony in recent memory. 6 weeks since the gold books and the Dior gowns and the 5-story trees and Paul McCartney and the sweep you off your feet kiss. 6 weeks of an entire planet waiting to see what Taylor Swift looked like on July 3, 2026, in a custom Christian Dior haute couture gown inside Madison Square Garden. And instead, at midnight on a Wednesday in London, the world got something else. A purple floral mini dress. A crystal-covered Christian Louboutin bag. Aquazzura stilettos with embellishments. The signature red lip. And a haircut. A haircut that the internet saw and immediately decided was not just a haircut. Taylor Swift was photographed leaving Annabel's, the ultra-exclusive private members club in Mayfair, around midnight on August 12, 2026. With a friend. On a girls' night out. For her first public solo appearance since July 3rd. For the first time the world had seen her, by herself, since she became a wife. And she showed up with her hair notably, unmistakably, significantly shorter than it has been in months. Not a trim. Not a subtle adjustment. A chop. Shoulder length. Just below the shoulders. The signature side-swept bangs still in place. Those are permanent, those are load-bearing, those are never going anywhere, but the rest of it, gone. Cut clean. Sleek and straight. A fresh start wearing a lavender dress at midnight in London, while her husband is at training camp in Missouri. And Swifties, who have spent decades tracking the correlation between Taylor Swift's hairstyle and her artistic eras, saw that haircut and started doing math. Because hair means something. With her, it always has. And this is the story of that night, and that hair, and that dress, and what all of it might be saying about where Taylor Swift is right now and where she is going next. Let's go inside. Annabel's is not just a club. In London, the word exclusive gets applied to a lot of places. Rooftop bars described as exclusive. Restaurants described as exclusive. Members' clubs of varying levels of prestige, all described as exclusive. Annabel's is exclusive in a category that has very few peers. It opened in 1963 in a Georgian townhouse in Berkeley Square, Mayfair. It was founded by Mark Burleigh and named after his wife, Lady Annabel Vane Tempest Stewart. It became, within its first decade, the single most celebrated private members club in London. The list of people who have been members or regulars at Annabel's over the decades is a document of 20th century celebrity and aristocracy simultaneously. Princess Diana. Mick Jagger. Frank Sinatra. It has been the site of birthday parties and after-parties and quiet late-night dinners for people who need a room where the outside world cannot follow. And in August 2024, a year and a half ago, during the final London leg of the Eras tour, Taylor Swift had a wrap party there. She used Annabel's as the venue for the celebration with her team at the end of the European dates. She wore a Vivienne Westwood plaid miniskirt set for that occasion. She stayed late. She was, by all accounts, someone who knew the place and liked it. She came back. On August 12, 2026, married, freshly haircut, in a purple floral mini dress, at midnight. The dress first. Because the dress deserves its full moment before we get to the hair. The lilac Delphine mini dress. Covered in metallic florals, flowers rendered in metallic thread or embroidery or print, catching the light in whatever way metallic florals catch light in the photographs taken at midnight outside a private club in London. The color, a true lilac. Not blue-purple, not pink-purple. Lilac. The specific pastel purple that lives at the edge of what purple can be before it becomes something else. The dress is short. A mini. She is in heels. She is leaving a club at midnight with a friend, in one of the most exclusive venues in London, in a lilac mini dress, which is exactly the kind of choice that says, I wanted to wear this, and I did, and here I am. The bag. A Christian Louboutin evening bag covered in crystals. The kind of bag that is too small to hold anything practical and too beautiful to need to. An object that exists as decoration and signal simultaneously. She wore custom Christian Louboutin shoes at her wedding, and she is carrying a Louboutin bag for her first night out afterward. That is a relationship with a brand that goes deeper than endorsement. That is a person who genuinely loves these shoes and this house and keeps returning to it. The sandals, Aquazzura stilettos, embellished. Not her first time in Aquazzura. Not her last. The embellishment on both the bag and the shoes, the crystals, the decorative detail, the specific choice of sparkle, is the nighttime edition of someone who dresses with complete intention, who thinks about what an outfit is saying and then chooses it because she wants to say it. The earrings, Larkspur and Hawk. This is a British jewelry brand Taylor Swift has been devoted to for years. Larkspur and Hawk makes antique-style jewelry, Georgian-inspired foil-backed pieces that look like they belong in a different century, that have the quality of being found rather than purchased. Taylor's relationship with antique and antique-style jewelry is consistent with the woman who chose an old-mine brilliant-cut engagement ring and wears it next to a wedding band designed by a jeweler who engraves gold by hand. She is drawn to things that look like they have a history. Things that look like they were made with patience. The bracelet, the Cartier Love Unlimited bracelet, which she has been wearing for years. Not the classic Cartier Love bracelet, the one with the screw motifs that requires a screwdriver to put on and take off, the one that has been a symbol of committed relationships since the 1970s. The Love Unlimited, which has a different design, a more delicate chain variation. She has worn this bracelet on and off for a long time, in various contexts. It is one of the constants. And the ring. The engagement ring from Kindred Lubeck. The old-mine brilliant-cut diamond on a yellow-gold band, designed by Travis Kelce with a jeweler who engraves by hand. Reports from this night noted the engagement ring visible in photographs. No mention of the wedding band. Whether she was wearing the full ring stack or just the engagement ring is not entirely clear from the available photographs. But the engagement ring is there. The ring that exists because Travis Kelce made friendship bracelets and went on a podcast and asked the question with sweaty palms in a Kansas garden. It is on her hand. At midnight. In London. In a lilac mini dress. And the red lip. Of course, the red lip. The red lip is not a choice she makes for specific occasions. It is simply the way her face appears in public. It is as fundamental to her public presentation as the bangs. It has been there through every era, every haircut, every album, every heartbreak, every triumph. The red lip is the constant in a life of deliberate reinvention. And it is there at midnight at Annabel's, as reliable as sunrise. The hair. This is the thing the internet needs to talk about. This is the thing that generated more discussion in the first 12 hours than any other detail of the night. More than the dress or the bag or the earrings or the location. The haircut. Taylor Swift walked out of Annabel's at midnight on August 12, 2026, with hair that falls just below her shoulders. Shoulder length. Significantly, noticeably, shorter than the longer style she has been wearing for the last several months. The bangs remain. The color remains, that ashy, slightly warm blonde that is as specific to her as a fingerprint. But the length, gone. The back of her hair now falls around shoulder length. It is, by multiple reports and by everyone who watched the photograph circulate, the most significant hair change she has made in years. Not since the bob of the 1989 era. Not as extreme as that. This is longer than the bob, sits further down the neck, is not the dramatic geometric shape of the 2015 look. But closer to that register than anything she has done since. And Swifties notice everything. Every single thing. They have spent years tracking the correlation between Taylor Swift's hair and her artistic eras. And those correlations are real. Not imagined. Real. The long curls of Speak Now. The introduction of bangs with red. The bob of 1989, the era that represented the most dramatic musical pivot of her career up to that point, the full departure from country, the fully realized pop vision. She cut her hair and made the biggest-selling album of 2014. The Reputation era, longer again. The Lover era, medium and golden. The Folklore and Evermore period, longer, more natural. The Midnights era, styled in various ways but consistently long. The Tortured Poets Department era, long and very blonde. And then the Life of a Showgirl era, the album about joy, about arriving, about the most infectiously joyful dramatic chapter of her life. The hair during the Showgirl era, longer, swept back, in the style that Patrick Reagan has cut for years. The style that Patrick Mahomes tried to convince Travis to grow out before Taylor convinced him to grow it out in about 15 minutes. And now, shoulder length. A chop. Clean and fresh and shorter than it has been in years. The pattern is there. The question, the one being asked across every Taylor Swift fan account and every entertainment publication and every group chat this morning, is, What does the new hair mean? There are two broad schools of thought. The first, this is personal. A wedding is one of the most significant life transitions a person makes, and many people mark major transitions with physical changes. A new haircut after a major event is a human ritual. It says, this chapter has begun, and this is how I am entering it. The cut is about the marriage. About stepping into life as Mrs. Kelce with a physical signal of newness. Not a professional signal. A personal one. The second school of thought, this is artistic. The new haircut precedes a new era. It is the first hint. The canary in the coal mine of whatever comes after the life of a showgirl. The Spotify Canvas updates and the to date at the end of the documentary and the August announcement window that fans have been tracking, and now a shoulder-length haircut at midnight in London. All of it pointing in the same direction. Something is coming. Both can be true simultaneously. The personal and the artistic are not separable in Taylor Swift's life. They never have been. She writes songs about her life. Her life informs her art. A major personal transition, the first weeks of marriage, the honeymoon, the new domestic routine, the Italian lessons and the sourdough and the daily workouts with Travis, that transition shows up in the art eventually. Always. Without exception. So the haircut might mean, I am beginning something new in my personal life. And it might also mean, I am beginning something new in my artistic life. And it might mean both. And the night at Annabel's, the purple dress, the red lip, the crystal Louboutin bag, the midnight departure, might be the prologue to both at once. The Lavender Haze connection. Because Page 6 and multiple fashion outlets immediately noted it, and it is real and worth examining. Lavender Haze was the lead single from Midnights, released in October 2022. The song is about being in a relationship that is so encompassing, so total, that you exist inside it the way you exist inside a colored atmosphere. The lavender haze is the feeling of being so fully in love that the world around you has taken on that specific quality. I've been under your spell so long, baby/talkin', about the way it feels in this lavender haze. The color of the dress Taylor wore to Annabel's is lavender. And the floral detailing of the dress, metallic flowers on a pastel ground, echoes the specifically romantic, soft-focus, color-saturated aesthetic that defines the lavender haze era of her style. It is a pastel palette with blooming details. It is the visual language of a woman who is, by every account, in the most joyful and love-saturated period of her life. She wore a floor-length pink floral gown to Juju Smith-Schuster's wedding on July 10th. She wore a lilac metallic floral mini-dress to her London Girls' Night on August 12th. 2 appearances in the month after her wedding, both in pastel florals. Both in the specific color register of bloom and warmth and the beginning of something. That is not a coincidence. Taylor Swift does not dress accidentally. She thinks about what her clothes are saying. The pastel florals are saying something. They are saying, I am in the lavender haze. I am in the most blooming, most open, most alive chapter. I married the person who makes me feel like the world has taken on a pastel quality, and I am wearing that quality on my body when I go out into the world. The red lip grounds it. It is always the red lip that grounds it. Because the red lip is not soft. It is not pastel. It is commitment. It is certainty. The red lip says, whatever else is soft about this look, this much is decided. This much is permanent. What is Taylor Swift doing in London? This is the question that is also interesting. Travis Kelce is in St. Joseph, Missouri, at Chiefs training camp. He is at the podium on August 12th, calling the wedding the best night of his life. He is on the practice field with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, wearing the El Travador mustache and the gold ring and the body that feels ready to rock and roll. And she is in London. She goes to London. She has always gone to London. It is one of the cities she knows and loves and returns to. During the Eras tour, London was one of the longest stays. She performed multiple nights at Wembley Stadium. London is where she has friends, where she has the specific kind of life that happens in a city rather than in a house. London is where she goes for dinners and nights out and the specific kind of European capital energy that is different from New York or Los Angeles. The timing also suggests she may be in Europe for reasons connected to whatever comes next. The honeymoon was reportedly European adjacent, Greece, island hopping, the Mediterranean. She may still be in that orbit, or she may have returned to the UK specifically. London is where she sometimes bases herself when she is working on music, when she is in the creative phase that precedes an album announcement. She recorded parts of both Folklore and Evermore at Kitty Hawk Air's studio in London and at Aaron Dessner's studio in Connecticut. She was in London, at Annabel's, with a friend, with a new haircut, in a lavender floral dress. And across the Atlantic, her husband was telling a press conference that she is his wife and the wedding was the best night of his life. Same day, same hours. She is departing a private club at midnight in London. He is standing at a podium in Missouri with a training camp notebook in front of him. This is the marriage during the football season. This is what Travis described in March when he announced his return. We share the same love for what we do. Both of them, pursuing the lives they are committed to, in the places those lives require them to be. The phone call bridges the distance. Baby. The vitamin drip conversation. The specific quality of attention they pay to each other's voices. She is in London being Taylor. He is in Missouri being Travis. And they are married. And the ring is on both their hands. And neither of those facts requires them to be in the same city on a Wednesday night. This is what a healthy partnership between two people with enormous independent lives looks like. She does not follow him to training camp. He does not follow her to London. They are their own people with their own professional commitments and their own friendships and their own cities. And they belong to each other in the way that transcends geography, through the phone, through the understanding, through the simple fact that whatever country she is eating at a private club in at midnight, she is his wife, and he knows that, and she knows that, and it is good. The wedding photos. They have not been released. As of August 13, 2026, no official photographs from the July 3rd ceremony have been published anywhere. Not through a magazine. Not through Instagram. Not through any channel. Taylor said she will share them on her personal Instagram on her own time. And her own time has not yet arrived. 6 weeks into the marriage, through a Florida honeymoon and a Montana mini-moon and a California wedding attendance and a London girls' night, the wedding photos remain exactly where she put them, in her possession, to be released when she decides. The world has 2 post-wedding photographs of her to work from. The first, the photo from the personal trainer Robert Jordan and his wife Joanne, shared the morning of July 4th, showing Taylor and Travis holding hands at an entrance to Madison Square Garden in what appears to be the orangey peach carpet of the entry stairs. She is in white. He is in white. That is all the image gives you. The second, the photographs from Juju Smith-Schuster's wedding on July 10th, where she wore the pink Markarian floral gown and the charcoal-suited Travis held her hand walking in. That is the photographic record of the post-wedding period. Those 2 sets of images. Everything else is descriptions, from Adam Aaron who posted and deleted, from George Stephanopoulos on GMA, from Donna Kelce at the fireworks show, from Rich Eisen at the golf tournament. And now, a purple floral mini dress and a new haircut at midnight in London. The most recent image of Taylor Swift. The thing the cameras caught tonight. Not the wedding dress. Not the Jonathan Anderson Dior creation that the fashion world has been waiting to see since July 3rd, but this. A girl in a lilac dress walking out of a club. It is a tantalizing non-answer to the most asked question of the summer. You want to see the wedding dress? Here is a floral mini dress instead. You want the official photos? Here are some paparazzi shots at midnight. You want confirmation of everything that happened inside that building? Here is a red lip and a new haircut and a crystal Louboutin bag. Here is a woman living her life, on her own terms, on her own timeline. Here is what comes after the best night of your life. A girls' night in London. A club in Mayfair. A midnight departure. Shorter hair. Lavender vibes. And somewhere in Missouri, her husband is at training camp. And the phone is always available. And it always rings. And she always picks up. Baby. The next chapter is building. In London. In a purple dress. With a new haircut that Swifties are calculating the meaning of right now, as you are reading this, across every fan account and every forum and every group chat where people who have been following this story for years are doing the math on what shoulder-length hair in August means for what comes next in October or November or whenever the announcement comes. The new look is not the answer. It is the question. And she is very, very good at making you ask the right questions. Now let me tell you something that gets lost in all the haircut speculation and the fashion analysis and the era-tracking mathematics. Something small. Something that is sitting quietly inside this whole story and deserves to be named. She went on a girls' night out. Not a press event. Not a promotional appearance. Not a carefully staged, candid photograph. A girls' night out. At a private club. With a friend whose name has not been widely reported. Just Taylor and someone she wanted to spend a Wednesday evening with, in London, in a lavender dress. And this is what her life looks like right now. Not the gold books and the Dior. Not the five-story trees. Not the sweep you off your feet kiss. Not even the sourdough and the Italian lessons and the daily workouts. This, a woman, 6 weeks into her marriage, at midnight in London, with a friend, leaving a club she has been to before, wearing a purple dress that matches the feeling she has been living inside since August 2025 when Travis got down on one knee in a Kansas garden. She is happy. The source said it, happier than ever. She is blissed out. She is Mrs. Kelce and she is Taylor Swift, and those two things are both fully true simultaneously. She is learning Italian and baking sourdough and cutting her hair shorter and going to London and buying crystal Louboutin bags and wearing embellished Aquazzura stilettos to midnight outings at Annabel's. She is, in the most complete possible way, living. And the wedding photos are coming. On her time. When she is ready. And whatever the haircut means, new era, new chapter, new music, or simply a woman who wanted shorter hair 6 weeks after her wedding, it means something. Because everything she does means something. It always has. That is the contract she has maintained with her audience for 20 years. Everything is intentional, everything is considered, everything points somewhere. The lavender dress. The new haircut. The red lip that never changes. The ring from Kindred Lubeck on her hand. It all points somewhere. Stay close. Because the answer is coming. On her time.